Hey everyone, my name is Wedge and welcome back to our Commander budget series. We've already covered some white and blue budget options, so you know what that means. Also, try to keep in mind that we can't touch on every single card. We'll give some of our top suggestions, and you're more than welcome to suggest more in the comments. It's a team effort, guys. Anyways, Black offers a wide variety of spells under $5 for plenty of strategies. From killing creatures to tutoring for the best spells, Black can do it all. Myojin of Night's Reach is just another big dumb creature with a potentially game-breaking effect. A 5/2 indestructible is pretty terrible for 8 mana, but we aren't playing this for the creature. When you remove the divinity counter that comes with it, each opponent discards his or her hand. This is an efficient way to take control of the game. Getting to 8 mana can be difficult, but spending one card to put the rest of the table in top deck mode is super good. Activating this at the right time will surely win you the game. The triple black and the cost hurts, so you're likely stuck in mono black or 2 colors, but it does cost 8, giving you time to get it out. Rise of the Dark Realms is surprisingly less than $5, and I would definitely consider picking them up if you haven't already. The effect is expensive, but you're likely ending the game. This is strictly a late game card that, if resolved, will create some real shenanigans. Most creatures in the format have an immediate effect or enter the battlefield ability, so this card doesn't require any effort to build around. It's basically a black insurrection that just requires the creatures to be in the graveyard instead of in play. Sacrifice effects are strong with so many hard-to-kill generals in the format and also help temper fast starts with commanders such as Animar or Edric. Innocent Blood and Fleshbag Marauder are just 2 of set effects that are cheap and easy to find. Depending on the deck you want to play, you may rock the creature, non-creature, or both versions of the card. Naturally, Fleshbag Marauder has more synergy being a creature, but Innocent Blood is much cheaper at single black. Barter Blood and Slum Reaper are also good alternatives. Targeted removal isn't the best in Commander unless it does something else or comes on a creature. Bone Shredder and Shriekmaw fit Category 2 and give you removal with upside. Both are fairly cheap to play. Shriekmaw is essentially a terror with its evoke cost, and Bone Shredder only costs 3. Between Evoke and Echo, they will both get in the graveyard immediately for further use. Shriekmaw could even be sacrificed to an outlet before the Evoke trigger resolves. If you're doing anything involving reanimation or sacrificing, both of these are solid utility spells. Black has an amazing list of tutors, and most of them are expensive, but 2 of the stronger ones are still under $5. Runescarred Demon is one of the best creatures in the format and is a walking demonic tutor. Even at 7 mana, it's pretty easy to get out and clone or blink since you can just tutor for the card that you need. It's also huge as a 6/6 and can deal significant damage. Diabolic Revelation is another fairly recent spell that can get out of hand quickly. There are very few ways to tutor for multiple cards in Commander prior to Revelation. For 6 mana, you get 1 card, which is pretty terrible. You get significantly more value beyond the first card. There are plenty of 2-card combos that would pay 7 mana to put in your hand. Even better, I like just tutoring for the perfect hand. Revelation achieves that goal and is strong at any juncture of the game. Crypt Ghast is another recent card that is perfect for anyone trying to make as much mana as they can. Mana doublers are getting pretty expensive with Nirkana Revenant, Gauntlet of Power, and Extra Planar Lens creeping up in value. Crypt Ghast still runs fairly cheap and might get cheaper once it rotates. Its only real disadvantage is that it's a 2/2, so you may end up skipping a turn as it eats a removal spell. If the gas sticks, you're pretty much set as it puts you on up to 10 mana on turn 5. The Extort is a nice bonus if you have extra mana lying around. Sweepers are strong in black, and while Damnation is well over $5, we have plenty of budget options. Black Sun Zenith isn't going to kill everything unless you have a ton of mana, but it is a good early sweeper and makes the creatures a more manageable size. Plus, you can shuffle it back in for multiple uses. Life's Finale is a little more expensive at 6 mana, but also can let you search an opponent's library and put up to 3 creatures in the graveyard. With all the reanimation effects in the format, we usually don't recommend this unless you can get rid of the creatures quickly or can reanimate it yourself. Decree of Pain is the best of the bunch. 8 mana is pretty steep for a Wrath effect, and likely casting it will not be enough against aggro. Commander is a slow enough format that getting to 8 is fairly reasonable. This easily becomes one of the best spells in the color, as you will likely draw 5 or more cards when it resolves. 10 isn't even out of the question depending on who you're playing. It's easy to win a game when 1 card clears the board and fills your hand. Cycling is icing on the cake if you absolutely need to slow someone down. Sometimes the -2/-2 and the card can be just as good against any aggressive decks. Out of all the Ghast you could be playing, this is the most versatile and powerful of them all. Tutor effects are all over the place in black, but surprisingly there aren't as many strong options to put cards in the graveyard past Entomb. Buried Alive can search for up to 3 creatures and put them into your graveyard, which is powerful in the right deck. Any deck looking to take advantage of its graveyard will want a copy of this. With the emphasis on reanimating multiple creatures at once, getting 3 creatures will maximize your results and give you more options than a single Entomb. It combos really well with our next card. Living Death can do a lot of things depending on your deck. With a commander like Savra or Prosh, it's a Rise of the Dark Realms for 5 mana. It can also be a sweeper on top of that with the right sacrifice outlet. Throw all your guys away to Phyrexian Altar and then put them back in with anything else in your graveyard. The card does require a little more timing as your opponents get to do the same thing, but it isn't too difficult to work around that, and sometimes you just won't care and will put all the creatures into play. In the right deck, it's easily a win condition by itself. Geth, Lord of the Vault, is another creature that if left alone can get out of hand in a hurry. Its ability allows you to take an artifact or creature from a graveyard and put it into play tapped. Then that player mills cards equal to the converted mana cost of the stolen card. It's feasible to mill a player out with the ability while sustaining itself with a ton of mana. Imagine pairing this with Seedborn Muse or Prophet of Krufix. It's also a 5/5 Intimidate, so feel free to crush people with it too since the ability doesn't make it tap. We made it through an overall busted color in one piece. Black is disturbingly powerful in Commander. There were so many cards to choose from. What are your favorite budget Black Commander cards? We obviously couldn't cover all of them in the video, so help each other out in the comments. We're all on the same team. Next time we'll tackle some of the best red budget options. Get pumped. As always, subscribe below for the latest and most reliable Magic the Gathering information you could ever need. This is the Manosaurus, I'm Wedge, thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.